We have the GOP Cumberland County Chairman, Mr. Michael Testa, who's going to be running for LD1 State Senate. He put out a Michael's Minute video the other day explaining his commitment to defending the Second Amendment rights of the people of New Jersey. And I'd like to have Michael come up and give us a couple of words right now.
I put out the video the other day about the Second Amendment. I've done, I think, 4 minutes with Mike. I would encourage you to look them up if you are in Legislative District 1. Even if you're not in Legislative District 1, look them up. They're getting a lot of likes and shares. They're just basic Republican principles. They're literally a minute to a minute and a half long. My stance on the Second Amendment is very clear. I don't need to go into that tonight. I know you've been here as a captive audience for quite a while. I'm sure you have homes and families to go home to and enjoy yourselves. But you know, my commitment to the Republican Party, the Republican principles, has been long-standing. I've been involved with the Cumberland County GOP for 11 years, serving as chair for the last 5 years. Our state is insane. We know that. I mean, it's literally insane. I mean, think about it. You know, and this is what I said tonight. I just did another minute with Mike before I came here, and I'm going to go back to my office and prepare for court tomorrow. I'm an attorney by trade. I just don't understand where the rule of law went in our country. I really can't fathom it. Not only our country, but our state. We have a governor, and I said Governor Murphy and his comrades a few times in my video tonight, because that's exactly where we're at. You know, they call themselves Democrat socialists. They're not Democrat socialists, they're socialists. Our state is completely insane. Driver's licenses for illegals now. We know what that is. That's just going to be a pathway for illegal aliens to vote. And you know, and JR and I have very in-depth conversations. And one of the things that really bothers me, and I've made posts about this on Facebook before I was ever a candidate, the Democrats are masters at defining the terms. And remember, they used to be called Democrats. They realize they do focus groups. They're masters at messaging. That's something Republicans need to get much better at. They realized that Democrat has a negative connotation to it. So they changed the name to liberals. For many years, they were called liberals. Well, what happened to liberals? They did some focus groups, and they realized, you know what? Liberal has a negative connotation to it. What are we now? Progressives. Progressives. That's a very powerful word, isn't it? Because it implies that they are for what? Progress. It also implies that our party, the other side, the yin to their yang, is what? Either regressive, which is or anti-progress. But we have to ask the question, what are you progressing towards? Nobody seems to be asking that question. What are they progressing towards? Well, I can tell you what they're progressing towards. Lawlessness, a sanctuary state. How can we possibly have a government in the state of New Jersey who will not comply with the federal government? That is pure insanity. It's making us as citizens much less secure in our persons and property. Again, what's at the bottom of our flag? Prosperity. It prevents us from our liberty and prosperity. There is no doubt about it. They are anathema to all of our natural rights as human beings, as citizens of the United States of America, and citizens of the state of New Jersey. This is pure lawlessness in the state of New Jersey, and it's dangerous. It's no longer whittling away at our rights, the slippery slope. Guess what? That little pebble that started maybe in 1966 is now a boulder, and it's got a lot of speed. It's got a lot of speed. It's going to take people like us in this room together, not as one person who's running for office. The person that runs for office is a representative. It's not about them. It's about the people that voted for them and the people that maybe didn't vote for them, but that can be won over for the next election so that we can restore liberty and prosperity to the state of New Jersey and its citizens. Because right now, if any kid coming out of college, are they going to move to New Jersey? Are they going to say, you know what, I got a job offer in New Jersey and I have a job offer in Georgia? Where are they going to go? Georgia. Better weather, less government intrusion, less taxes, carry permit, all of the things that you would want as a red-blooded American. Right? We're here, why? I have 3 little kids. My parents are here. I came back to be with family. It was going to be 3 generations of Testas practicing law together. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed after I took the bar exam, but before I got the results. So he never got to call me counselor. But my 96-year-old grandmother is still here. I see her once a week, a minimum. We're here for our families. We're here for their education. We're here so that maybe we can raise them and provide a place that they can come back to. But right now, how many people have children who are either college age or getting in the workforce? What's even worse, a lot of our great state workers, whether they're Department of Corrections, teachers, law enforcement, what do the minute they retire? Leave. They leave. And their pensions go with them. So they're not spending their money here. Our taxpayers are leaving this state in droves, and what are they getting replaced with? I host a breakfast every 2 weeks, and I call it the choir. You know, we're preaching to the choir. We're amongst ourselves. But now we have to go out in the diaspora, right, and preach this message. And I have to tell you, JR, you're doing a phenomenal job at educating the public as to what our republic is supposed to be. You know, it's amazing to me that you ask your average 18-year-old, I'll call them a kid, but they're an adult by law. You ask your average 18-year-old high school graduate, they have no idea how our government works. Far too many Republicans are afraid to be Republican. The fact of the matter is, I'm a very proud Republican, and I've never not been proud to be a Republican, because I've told many candidates this, and it's left a bad taste in their mouth. Kim, I think you were in the room when I said this one time, that people would much rather vote for a real Democrat than a fake Republican.
That's right.
Because when you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And I have to be honest with you, there's been far too many across our state soft Republicans. And that's a shame. Put it this way, we have to get back to the basics. And JR and I have talked about many things, including the golf swing. There's very basic fundamentals to a golf swing to make it very good. But when you lose the fundamentals, you lose everything. We got to get back to basic fundamentals. And Nora, you're absolutely right. Everybody always says about every election, it takes money, money, money. And it does take money. But you know what? The best thing that I ever saw that was done when I was a little kid and my father was involved were coffee klatches. You went to somebody's home and somebody made a coffee cake, or it was an Entenmann's coffee cake, and you sat around a table and you explained yourself. Did you agree about 100% of the things that are going on in society? Absolutely not. We're individuals as Republicans. So guess what? We're not the drones that the Democrats have that just follow the party line every time. We're individuals. But guess what? We have to start focusing on the 95% of the ground that we agree on, and not the 5% or less that we disagree on. Because guess what? I'd much rather have a Republican in office that I agree with 80% of the time than a Democrat in office like Comrade Murphy that I agree with no percent of the time. So we got to band together as Republicans. And I have to tell you, the pendulum is swinging our way. The pendulum is swinging our way in this state. There is no way in Cumberland County that we can't start to make a difference. Salem County has proven it. They've come back in a major way. I was chairman of Big Brothers and Big Sisters for Cumberland and Salem counties. We were Board of the Year for the entire United States in 2015 with me as chair. I'm a member of the NAACP. You know why? Because if we're not able to have those conversations, Nora, with people that don't look like us, don't talk like us, and might not necessarily think like us, we're never going to be together. But that's what we need to be brave enough to do. We need to be brave enough to go to the places that aren't these rooms, that are the choirs, and say, let's have a sit down as two human beings. Let's ditch the Republican, let's ditch the Democrat, let's ditch the independent, and let's talk. And guess what? When you start talking about basic principles, would you like to hold on to more of your money? Who's going to say no to that? Nobody. Would you like less government intrusion in your life? Who's going to say no to that? Would you like to have the right to bear arms, where you don't have to be worried about a magazine that you might have inherited from your great-grandfather or grandfather or father? People are worried. They're scared. I'm an attorney. They're calling me. Is this okay? Is that okay? They're confused. And quite frankly, not if I'm elected, when I'm elected, I'm going to look to get rid of a bunch of laws because we have way too many on the books as it is. My last words, and this is where JR and I really connected. Every politician, when they take the oath of office, does what? Places their left hand on the Bible, their right hand in the air, and swears to support the laws and Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey. How in God's name can we be a sanctuary state when they take that oath and they're not supporting the United States Constitution? How, and the laws therein. So guess what? I'm a big fan of the good book. What are the first 3 words? In the beginning. In the beginning. Every single ad against a Democrat that is for a sanctuary state, driver's licenses for illegals, should be, in the beginning, they lied. Thank you so much, JR, for giving me this opportunity, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you.